Hey, I'm Charles Hoffman from Black Ghost Audio, and I've teamed up with SonicScoop to bring you a first look at Antelope Audio's Zen Go Synergy Core audio interface as part of MixCon 2021. A special thanks to Antelope Audio for making this video possible. They sent me a Zen Go to experiment with, and they're sponsoring a MixCon masterclass from Grammy-winning mixer and longtime Antelope user Brian Vibberts, so you won't want to miss that. The Zen Go Synergy Core is Antelope Audio's first bus-powered audio interface, making it perfect for when you're on the go, or if you want a compact audio interface that you can use at home. It lets you process the audio that you record on the way into your DAW using Antelope Audio's Synergy Core audio effects. This reduces the load on your computer's CPU and lets your performers audition the sound of these effects while using the Zen Go's direct monitoring feature. It delivers high-gain preamps that pair well with low-output dynamic mics, and it also lets you make use of Antelope Audio's modeling microphones. The Zen Go comes with two switchable mic line high-Z inputs, meaning that you can use it to record with microphones, capture line level signals such as those produced by outboard gear and synths, or you can use it to record electric guitar and bass. There are two sets of monitor outputs. One set uses 1/4-inch TRS jacks and the other uses RCA jacks. The monitor outputs are mirrored so you can connect and listen to two sets of monitors at once, which is incredibly useful. The SP diff ins and outs look like RCA ins and outs, but they're actually different. RCA connections are analog while SP diff connections are digital. This means that you can send and receive stereo signals through an SP diff connection to other devices with SPDIF sockets, boosting up the Zen Go's connection count. Altogether, there are 4 inputs and 8 outputs. As you can see, the front of the interface provides a digital display that lists the sample rate and provides meters for the analog inputs, SPDIF input, and monitoring outputs. By clicking on the gain button, you bring up the first mic preamp's meter and gain setting. If you press and hold the knob, you can engage phantom power, and by turning the knob, you can adjust the preamp's gain. Pressing in the knob will toggle the preamp between mic, line, and high Z mode. The cool thing is that you can set the gain differently in each mode, and when you cycle back to that mode, the gain remains unchanged. Pressing the gain button again will give you control over the second mic preamp and allow you to meter your input signal. You can adjust the monitor volume using this big knob, and tapping the knob mutes the monitor output. If you press the HP Mon button, you can control the first headphone output's volume. Pressing the knob mutes this output, and the same thing applies to headphone output too. By default, the screen brightness is set to 35%, which makes sense for a bus-powered interface because you want to conserve power. However, you can increase the brightness by holding down this little Antelope icon and then turning the knob. My eyes are pretty bad, so I like that you can do this. The Zen Go makes use of the same ultra-linear console-grade preamps found in Antelope Audio's Zen Tour and Orion Studio Synergy Core. I want to make it quite clear that these preamps are one of the main selling points of this interface. They provide 65 decibels of gain, which is quite a lot. In fact, I'm recording the dialogue for this video with a Shure SM7B, which is a microphone that requires a fair bit of gain. Typically, you'd pair a low output dynamic mic like this with a cloud lifter to provide it with a clean gain boost, but I still have room to push these preamps, so it's not an issue. The whole shtick is that you're gaining access to these fantastic preamps at a relatively affordable price without having to cough up the $2,000 to $3,000 that you would for the Zen Tour or Orion Studio. Those interfaces come with more preamps and features, but you might not need all of that if all you're doing is recording vocals or tracking electric guitar. This interface uses class-leading AD-DA conversion with up to 127 decibels of headroom, and you can record and playback audio up to a bit depth of 24 and sample rate of 192 kilohertz. Antelope Audio's acoustically focused clocking technology and jitter management have been implemented to improve audio via clocking. This means that when you connect other digital audio processing devices to the Zen Go using the SP diff jacks, all your gear should remain nicely in sync and sound smooth and detailed. The control panel software that comes with the Zen Go allows you to change global settings like the Zen Go's clock source and sample rate. You can modify various preamp settings, including mic modeling settings. If you own one of Antelope Audio's modeling mics like the Verge, Edge Solo, Edge Duo, or Edge Quadro, you can choose the mic you're using here, and then you'll be able to experiment with different mic emulations. I'm a huge fan of modeling microphones, and I think they're great for home studio owners because of the value they deliver. The Edge Quadro in particular caught my interest because it provides 4 channels for independent processing that allow for mid-side, XY, Blumline, and 360 sound recordings. I don't want to get carried away here, but if you're looking for a modeling mic down the road, the Zen Go lets you use Antelope Audio's mic models. You can monitor the level of the preamps, your computer's outputs, the SP diff inputs, and emulation mics within the control panel. It's possible to tweak the monitor level down here, as well as dim or mute the output. The same thing goes for headphone output 1. To control headphone output 2, just click on this headphone 2 tab, and you'll be able to access these headphone controls. Keeping the control panel open on a secondary monitor while recording is my recommendation. Being able to monitor your input and output signals and see what's happening in your DAW at the same time feels great. The interface contains one ARM-based DSP chip and one FPGA chip that work together to form Synergy Core. This signal processing platform lets you apply audio effects to your input signal. You can bake processing into the signal you record as it passes through the Zen Go. For example, if you want to record through a preamp, a compressor, and an EQ, just pick the plugin that you want to use, dial in your settings, and then record your audio. The signal that appears within your DAW will already be processed, making recording with the Zen Go feel similar to recording through hardware. Applying processing in this way can save you time once you hit the mixing stage of the production process. The Zen Go comes with 37 real-time effects, and the effect processing is also offloaded to the interface, which reduces the load on your computer's CPU. Autotune is available as a Synergy Core plugin, which is awesome because some artists like to sing through this plugin while performing. By doing this, they can manipulate pitch correction applied by Autotune with their voice and use it as a creative effect. Autotune doesn't come with the Zen Go, but you can purchase it separately. It's an effect that's really in demand, so it's nice to see that it's available. The Zen Go's direct monitoring feature makes latency a non-issue. Traditionally, audio runs through the input of your interface, through your computer, back to your interface, and then through the interface's headphone output. The problem is that when there's a significant load on your computer's CPU, it's going to take time to process that audio, so your performer might end up hearing a delay between when they speak and when they hear themselves in their headphones. Direct monitoring takes your computer out of the equation by mirroring the Zen Go's input to the headphone output. Since digital signal processing takes place within the Zen Go, the effects you've applied to your input channel will be heard by your performer as well. If you engage Antelope Audio's Aura Reverb, you can provide your performer with a little bit of reverb while tracking them. The Vocal Reverb Medium preset actually sounds really good, and it's great for this purpose. Aura Reverb is unique because it's a send effect, so the processing it applies doesn't get baked into the signal you record. This reverb is purely for helping your performer get into the groove while recording, or you can use it to apply reverb to someone's voice in a live setting. Usually, you're going to apply the global reverb you're using in your DAW to your vocal recordings once you've captured them, so the way that Aura Reverb is set up makes sense. However, you can also load Aura Reverb as an insert, so the option to bake reverb into your recordings is available. The Zen Go is streamer friendly because it provides loopback functionality. You can route your interface's inputs, your DAW's outputs, and the audio from whatever game you're playing into your computer's virtual inputs. At that point, you can select those virtual inputs as your audio source within Streamlabs, OBS, or whatever streaming software you're using. Let's say you've put in some time and have created a session configuration that you want to use in the future. Well, you can save the session layout as a preset and load it up later on. Personally, I have different setups that I use when recording YouTube videos, when I'm streaming, as well as when I'm tracking vocals, electric guitar, and acoustic guitar. To load a preset, just click Load, Browse, and then choose the preset you want to load. If you want to use the Zen Go's effects within your DAW during post-production, all you have to do is load Antelope Audio's AFX to DAW plugin onto a track, open it up, and create the signal processing chain that you want to use. So not only will these audio effects help you out while recording, but you can mix and master music with them as well. This plugin is now available for the Zen Go Synergy Core through a USB connection and Antelope Audio's other compatible interfaces over Thunderbolt on macOS and Windows. Previously, it was only available on macOS, so this is great news. The AFX to DAW plugin is available as a separate purchase, acting as an add-on to the Zen Go's functionality. The Zen Go is priced competitively at $499. If you look around, you're going to find some other companies packing up their fancy preamps in tiny packages like this and giving you a taste of some of the features from their more expensive products for around $500. However, I've got to give the Zen Go an edge in a few different areas that you might find important. You're getting 2 headphone outputs instead of 1. There are 2 sets of monitor outputs, and there are also SP diff jacks. These are pretty notable features that some of the Zen Go's competitors don't provide. I think the Zen Go is great for people looking for a small and portable recording solution. It's also an excellent option for people who want some of the features provided by pricier interfaces, like great preamps and onboard signal processing, but who don't necessarily need all the inputs and outputs provided by a $3,000 interface. Bedroom producers, mobile producers, and small home studio owners that work mostly in the box are going to find a lot of value in the Zen Go Synergy Core. If you want to be the first to know about the latest and greatest gear hitting the audio market, make sure to subscribe to SonicScoop down below. Also, give this video a thumbs up so that YouTube knows to recommend it to other people. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.